This episode was brought to you by Hidden Badger VPN. Go on to badgervpn.com and use coupon code TOTALLYREALSERVICE, all lowercase in one word, and save 50% on a year subscription. Hey guys, Eddie here, and welcome to the first episode of America's new favorite top podcast, don't look that up, Beep Boop.
Beep Boop.
It's a podcast series that tackles tech ignorance and makes you just a little bit smarter after you listen to it. Beep Boop is a podcast all about how computers and the internet began, how they work, and most importantly, how they have and will impact us humans. So make sure you stick around and learn a thing or two about the thing you probably are using to listen to me right now. Plus, I hear it's a great conversation starter nowadays. Don't open up a conversation with, how's the weather? Calmer often, but with a, hey, want to know how computers work? Yeah, you can be that guy. So let me, your host, Eddie Estevez, a computer science and computer engineering student at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, be your guide in the crazy, crazy world of modern day tech. But where can we even begin with such an awesome podcast about computers? Well, let's ask ourselves an important question. What is a computer, in your own words?
A computer is a machine that can be used for a multitude of different things.
It's to work and to make jobs and for teachers and everything.
A machine to watch YouTube on.
A computer is something you can access the internet with.
A machine that I don't understand.
Okay, how do you think it works?
It knows a whole bunch of things, so you can just search something up and it will know it.
Do you consider your phone to be a computer?
No.
What is a computer?
Something with a screen and keyboards.
So it needs to have a keyboard.
Yes.
So say you have this computer, you unplug the keyboard. Is it still a computer?
Yeah. No.
What do you use it for?
I use it for school a lot. Typing stuff. I do a little bit of coding. Online shopping's a big one. Watching videos as well.
Taking into consideration what you want to do in your life, do you think computers can help with that?
Yeah, definitely.
What is that thing you want to do in life?
I'm looking to go into the medical field so they can help in surgeries with robotic assistance and just with charts, making that electronical.
Do you think there's jobs out there in which computers would be useless for?
Not really.
No.
I think they're pretty well used in every job.
Do you think a phone is a computer?
No, but it's a phone. You can use everything that you want.
Doesn't that make it a computer?
No, but a little bit because you can go to Android and download something to your work.
How do you think a computer talks to other computers?
By using ones and zeros.
Did you know that before, or do you know that because I told you just now?
No, I knew that before.
Really? How?
News.
The news?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Thank you for your time.
No, welcome. I will see you next time. So, what did we find out? Even though technology, namely computers and the internet, is everywhere today as of 2020, not everyone really knows a lot about it. And I don't blame them. It's a very complicated subject and no one can really know too much about it. The best thing you can do is try to tackle the topic with looking into basic info first. Let's start off with the formal definition of a computer according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary that reads, a programmable, usually electronic device that can store, retrieve, and process data. Now, that wasn't too complicated of a definition, right? Wait, hold on. Did they say usually electronic? As it turns out, the first computers, or at least machines that can be considered computers, were actually either mechanical or even steam-powered machines that computed math equations. Alright, let's get into a computer history crash course. Let's go. We begin with an English math dude named Charles Babbage in 1822, who invented a cool steam-powered machine that would compute a lot of math. Like, a lot of math. What kind of awe-inspiring name did he give his creation? Well, he called it the analytical engine, or even better, it actually never worked. But hey, points for trying. 70 years later, in 1890, this other dude named Herman Hollerith was like, oh man, If only I could punch some holes in cards and put them in a metal machine to help me do math. So that's exactly what he did. And he ended up helping the US in 1990 calculate the 1990 census. This is a job that usually took 10 years, but with Herman's Bad Boy machine, it actually took 3 months. This way of telling a machine what to do with holes in a card would be one of the first ways to later on give code to a computer. Herman then later started a company that stands today as one of the biggest computing companies today. What did he call it? Wait, what did he call it? Apple? Dell? HP? IBM? Yeah, he called it IBM. Fast forward to 1936 and Alan Turing was like, hey, I'm pretty smart. I'm gonna make a machine, name it after myself, and make it possible to compute literally anything. He kinda did it, making a machine that would decode the German Enigma code, and they made a movie about it, highly recommend it. But the all-powerful computer he talked about, well, that didn't really come through. He kinda killed himself before he got the chance. That's a story for another day. In 1937, J.V. Antonasov was sick and tired of the so-called computers having gears and belts and all this random crap, and he thought, wait, what about vacuum tubes? I can use those to make something cool, and ta-da, the first electronic computer was born. What could it do? Just add and subtract. But hey, still cool. In 1941, our boy Antonasov came back and was like, instead of one math equation on my super cool vacuum tube machine done at a time, how about 29. So he and his student Clifford Berry did just that. But in 1944, 2 professors from the University of Pennsylvania, John Mockley and J. Presper Eckert, thought vacuum tubes were pretty cool too. And they were like, what if? And here's how. We built a computer with 18,000 of them. And the University of Pennsylvania was like, sweet, we'll fund it. And so it was made, and they called it, wait for it, the ENIAC, which stood for the Electronic Numerical Integrator and Calculator. Wow. I guess a clear one-word name was too good for them. 2 years later, the same 2 professors were like, whoa, we got this funding from the university. Do you think we can get money from people too? And so they teamed up with the Census Bureau to build the UNIVAC, which stood for the Universal Automatic Computer. Seriously, these names could not be any less catchy. But it was the first computer businesses and governments could buy, and the first computer most people nowadays would recognize as, well, a computer. This would be the computer that would set off a chain of events that would bring computers to the mass market and lead the foundation for the big boys of the tech world, like Apple, Microsoft, and Google, and many, many more. And to think, it's all thanks to this history that made it possible for me to edit this podcast at 3 a.m. and for you to listen to this, probably not at 3 a.m. It really is a great time to be alive. And whoa, aren't computers like literally everywhere? Think outside the box. Like literally think outside the box. Like think about all the things that are computers technically, but not your traditional laptop or desktop. Literally more and more things are becoming smart nowadays. You can literally browse the internet on a fridge today. What's next? A robot toaster?
Your toast is ready, sir.
TVs are computers. They take in a lot of data and do a lot of pixel math to add deeper colors or just brighten an image and then spits it out back at you. That takes a lot of math every second. Smartwatches are little computers on your wrist. There's computers in most modern vehicles and even tractors. Think about it. A thing that was so rare to find 100 years ago is literally everywhere and is literally changing every single aspect of human life. Imagine where we'll be in another 100 years. So we talked about what a computer is, how important they are, and how they seemingly are taking over the world. But how do computers even talk to each other? Do they struggle with communication just like me? No, they actually communicate quite well, but not with words per se. Do you guys remember what Morse code is? Isn't it incredible that a lot can be said with just these 2 sounds? Hear that? That was Morse code for hello. Oh, yeah, that was Morse code for how's it going? And this. Hear that? That was Morse code for, yeah, I was making up the last 2 translations, but not the point. Morse code is kind of how computers take in the things that we tell it, like the words that we type onto it, or the music, photos, or videos that we save onto it. It turns all those things, the text, the pictures, the sounds, and turns them into something like dots or dashes. Technically, zeros and ones, ons and offs, binary. 1, 2, 3. We humans are used to counting up to 10 because, well, it makes sense. A theory is that we do so because we have 10 fingers, or at least most humans do.
And these things are pretty easy to count with, let me tell you. It's because of that it's really hard to think about a number system that isn't in tens. Although I'm incredibly gullible, you can't just invent a number, place it in between 6 and 7, and tell me, alright, this is our new number system now. We can say that 9 actually represents 10, since this hypothetical number replaces 7 now. That's just ridiculous and mean. Please don't do this. I might actually fall for it. Anyway, computers, last time I checked, don't have 10 fingers on their hands. They don't even have hands to begin with, or at least most of them. They actually count up to 1. And they can't actually keep going. They only know how to use ones and zeros. Sad, right? Well, what do you do with only 2 symbols to represent your numbers? I guess we could... I see there's some room to its left. I guess we can put something on there, like another 1 or 0. But like this time, it's worth a bit more, you know? Like how binary works, you see, is that the first 1 and 0 is actually multiplied by 2 to the 0th power. For you math geeks out there, that means 1. So 1 in binary is 1. And a 0 in binary is just 0. Wow. But things get interesting when you go into the second place, the digit to the left of the first one. The digit in the second place. You multiply that by 2 to the first, or just 2. So take 1, 0. It looks like 10, but technically 1, 0 in binary. So it has a 1 in the second place, and then a 0 in the first. If you do the neat math thing I just mentioned, 1 in the second place actually represents 2, since 1 times 2 is, 2. You add that to the value of the number in the first place, in which in this case is 0. 0 times 1 is just 0. 2 plus 0 is 2. Therefore, with the logic we just mentioned, 1, 0 in binary is actually 2 in human numbers. This kind of logic continues as the position increases, so there's the power on the top of the 2 you multiply it with. So 1, 0, 0 in binary, which looks like 100 to us humans, means that there is a 1 in the third place, so you multiply that 1 by 2 to the second power, which means 4. So 1 times 4 is 4. And since all the other positions are zeros, you just add zeros to it. So 1, 0, 0 means 4 in human numbers. It might be confusing to us humans, but this is how computers keep track of information. It only understands its little transistors in its brain, it being on and off, or 1 and 0. Chain them up with billions and billions of transistors, and there, you can store some huge numbers. Numbers? You might be thinking, that's useless. How does it save words, sounds, pictures, and video games? Well, this is where formats and codes come in. You see, although a computer stores ones and zeros, we humans have come up with ways to interpret that into useful info. You see, the MP3 format is a way a computer can store ones and zeros to represent sound or a song. MP4 is a cool, neat format that could represent a video. How can a computer represent words, though? Well, it does so with something called ASCII, or, get ready, I've been practicing this acronym for a while, American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Think of it as a big chart where it groups up 8 ones and zeros, which, by the way, each binary digit is called a bit. And just like a dozen means 12, a byte means 8 bits. ASCII code turns a byte, or 8 bits, into a letter in the alphabet, or a symbol just like the hashtag, an ad, or even a space. Yes, a space is actually technically a character. This is how computers can turn a bunch of ones and zeros into actual words. If it couldn't, talking to it would be incredibly hard and could be something like this.
01001001001010101.
What?
010010001101001.
What are you talking about?
010000101010101010101.
Eddie, really?
We'd like to take a moment to talk about our proud sponsor for the podcast, Hidden Badger VPN. Ever been in a situation where you've been browsing the internet, minding your own business, and there, right in the corner of your website, you see ads for dog toys you looked up yesterday? And you wonder, what exactly happened to tell this website that I could use some dog toys? If websites can sell basic data of things that you look up, what else is happening with your information? Or check this situation. You're on YouTube or some video streaming site, and whoa, you get a message that says that the content you're looking for is not available in your country. What is this? Is there anything you can do to get privacy on the internet and get access to everything on it? Well, that's where Hidden Badger VPN can come to the rescue. A service developed by students from UW-Madison, this VPN seeks to get you all the advantages a VPN could get you, while making it simple for anyone to use. Look it up and get it before you get ads about it. Ladies and gentlemen, robots and beep boops, and everyone in between, we have made it to the end of the first episode of the podcast. That's already on the top of the charts. If you like what you heard, please look us up from wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Our next episode, we're going to take a deep dive of the crazy innards of the brains of the computer, the CPU. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. I got funnier jokes on there. This has been Eddie Estevez, logging off.